are live, ladies and gents. We are live for the Mystery GP, and it falls to me, yours truly, to spin the wheel to decide where we're racing today. And you can have a quick look at the circuits that you might be racing on here today. Monaco could be on the cards. We could have a Miami, a Qatar, Monza, Baku. Oh no, not Baku. Brazil, I should say. Singapore. That would cause some chaos. But if we are all ready, we're all set to spin the wheel. We'll have a countdown from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we are spinning the wheel for the Mystery GP. And where are we racing today? Oh, please. Oh, it's almost landed on Monaco, but we have got Spain. We have got the Spanish Grand Prix. Some drivers aren't going to be happy with that. Let's just say that. But yeah, we are here at the Spanish Grand Prix. Let's just get rid of that. Back onto the F1 game. Spanish Grand Prix here in F3. We were so close to Monaco. That would have been so much fun, but no, we're here. We're at the Spanish Grand Prix at the circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia. Yeah, the F3 chat's not exactly liking the options or the result. I mean, it is Spain. It is maybe the worst track on the game. Because, you know, I mean, in qualifying it's all right, but I mean, for the rest of the race is awful. Yeah, and Thomas agreeing with me in the F3 chat there. I'm equally as disappointed as the rest of the F3 lot because I've got nothing to commentate on, and I will be commentating with an eye infection, and there'll be nothing to commentate on. So I'm going to be in pain and not even excited. I've got more people than last week, so maybe that's cause to celebrate. I'm seeing a lot of can I not drive tonight from the F3 chat. So, you know, that's always a good thing you want to see before going into a race. But that is the common reaction to the Spanish Grand Prix. checking everything's good on the levels. And yes, they are. So OBS is telling me that everything is good on the levels. So yes, Mitch, I have spun it already. If you're not listening to the stream. Nope. Well, we're getting rumours of a respin. So I mean, I'm fully up for a respin. I do not want to commentate the Spanish Grand Prix. Right, we're getting a respin, boys. So I mean, the Spanish Grand Prix still could happen. Hang on, let me just go back to the other scene so I can. Right, we're back on Wheel of Names. The races are up there. I just want Mitch and Luke to make sure they're up there, because God forbid this is God forbid this is ever easy. And you know, well, I mean, I did it on the time that we did it last season. So right, everyone is in attendance for the respin for the Mystery GP in 3, 2, and 1. Please no Spain, because this would be a gigantic waste of time. Oh no, it's Miami. That might be worse. Oh, bad. No. Oh god. Oh fucking hell. Right. I guess it's Miami. The Miami Grand Prix is happening, ladies and gents. We've gone from one awful track to maybe a worse one. So yeah, all those who wanted a respin, this is on you, lads. This is oh, no, we're not. Oh god, who's running it? Lads, stop running up. We're not doing Spain. first spin wasn't wrong. You just weren't here for. I mean, the guy that does the lobby was here for it, and that's the main thing. And that's even more of a mystery if you don't see it, in my eyes. But you know, we want to do things by the book here in GRS, apparently. I'm going to quickly turn the light on because it's not working. Is it raining? It's not raining. No, we've got some new people we need to learn the names of since last week. We're underway, and to learn the names of these new drivers. Obviously, Charlie Gordon we know the name of. With seeing him in a Sauber, not a Sauber, an RB. I don't get why I get those two teams confused. Almost like the exact opposite. George Parr in the other RB. Got Andreas Darmo in the Alpine. That would be GT Andro. Yaro, I'm not even going to try and say his name because I'm an Englishman, and I don't do well with foreign names that aren't easy to say. Tibbo, we got Tibbo back. Obviously last season's champion. And then well, the rest we know. So we're back to the norm, I guess. We should be getting started with a certain Conrad here in Miami. He'll be the first one to get us going, I believe, unless, oh no, we've got some drivers ahead. I believe the first man to be on a lap is the RB as he goes through the S's section. George Parr. And into the long left-hander that ends Sector 1 and brings us into Sector 2. Purple Sector 1, obviously, he's the only one to set up Sector 1 time. As we head down towards the one of the few sections of this track that I do actually like, so it's good for battling. As we head down into the marina section, that's definitely a marina. And into the chicane, and into the underpass we go, and Gets a decent run through the underpass. This could be a decent lap. It's looked quite tidy. Yellow flag in front. I believe that's just for a slowing car. Purple sector 2 for George Parr in the RB, and doesn't that RB look good as we head into the hairpin for the first time of the weekend. Oh, not the weekend, on this Wednesday night. And to the line goes George Parr, and it's a 1:28.9. Will Thibaut Quo beat that lap time in the special livery Sauber? No, he does not. It's a 1:30.0, and then Andre gets a 1:29.1 on the board. So George Parr still on provisional pole. I believe the other Sauber is crossing the line now, Yaro, to complete his lap. And he goes to the bottom of the pile with a 1:31.2. The two Mercedes crossing the line, uncharacteristically not on the front row of the grid, so he might have some competition tonight. And Diarra's got a damaged front wing, so that might explain his lack of pace. As Conor Ahern, purple sector 1 for the Ferrari, but he is on a lap, but he's not far along the lap, so we'll check with the other drivers. Ross Turner not on a lap. I believe the other Ferrari of Jack Cocaine on a lap as we head towards the line with the Scarlet Ferrari. Obviously second place last time out, well, on the podium last time out at least. He goes to P7, so time to be found there for the Ferrari driver, and Mr. Chillaxed goes into P13 with 1:30.9 as the other RB of Charlie Gordon, that would be George Parr even, but the Ferrari of Conor Ahern, he was purple sector 1 when we checked up on him last time. What will the lap be? He's only 1:31, he's down to 15 at the lap, bottom of the timing sheet, so he's had a poor lap out there on track as the McLaren of Stephen Trodden. Obviously a decent point scoring finish last time out for the McLaren man. We head towards the line with Stephen Trodden, and he is last of the pecking order. So we'll check on the other drivers. Charlie Gordon not on a lap, he'll be into the pit lane. Jack Cocaine not on a lap, he'll be into the pit lane. So Mitch Slate. So the garage, Tibber in the garage. Oh, that's it's not the line from Mr. Callum Pearce, as Lowry might be on a lap. Not with the right battery. If anyone's on a lap at the minute, so oh, Mr. Chillax retiring from the session. We've got a restart to contend with. No restart announcement at the moment. Oh no, we just got rain in qualifying, that's why. I didn't notice the rain, so no one actually setting a time. So I believe that our man on pole position will be George Parr on his return to GRS. Obviously, we've seen him before. George Parr retiring from the session, so pretty much confirmed. Ooh, that was close. Obviously, people cutting corners to try and get the most grippy track, but I don't think you're going to improve on this track at the moment. No, look how much he's struggling out there on the circuit. And yeah, no chance of improving for this. Harley retiring. Looks like he's got great wing damage on that Sauber. Needs to tell him when he goes. Yeah, look at the understeer as well. And yeah, you're not going to be improving with these conditions. Let's just say that. So I think it's fair to say that your pole man. Oh, and he spun as well and hit the front wing for good measure. Yeah, you're not improving on this track. And there's a little flick spin, hits the wall. But yeah, no. I think it's fair to say that your pole position man is George Parr. And Miami has thrown up some wet weather shenanigans. See if Thibaut's doing anything. No, he's not improving. GRS disabled, so that confirms it. No one will be out on tracks. You might as well retire, lads. Saves me a little bit of time. Invite Ross Turner if I have him friended. I don't know if I do. Oh no, he's joking, so no need. Sibbo into the pits. Will we please retire, lads? I do not want to be looking at a track. Oh, Jesus Christ. I do not want to be looking at a track with no one on it for 7.5 minutes, lads. Please retire. Oh, he's gone very wide. Please, box. Oh, do you mind? Thank you. Right, can we please retire, lads? I do not want to be looking at I don't want to be looking at a track with no cars on it for, what's it, 6 minutes now. 6.5 minutes. Please. Thank you, Jack. Surprised he hasn't. Oh, Thibaut, why? Thank you, Thibaut. Right, 2 more. Come on. I'd like some retiring in the pit lane, lads. There's one more. One more. Come on. Ross, please. Ross, you've joined. I know you're in the session. Can you please retire out on track? Thank you very much. Or in the pit lane. I don't care where you retire as long as you retire. I do not want to be looking at a pit lane for 5.5 minutes. Ross, I know you're in the session. There we go. Right, there's your order from this very compact qualifying session. It is the RB of George Parr on pole, Andre in P2, Stuart Bradbury and Kais Van Hussein, the two Mercedes, had to be quick. Charlie Gordon on his return in P5, Corey McSweeney P6, Jack Cocaine P7, Mitch Snape in P8, Ross Turner P9, Thibaut Quo on his return in P10, Callum Pearce, Lowry, Spelto, Mr. Chillax, Yarrow, Connor Ahern, and Stephen Trodden finish your order. So we turn our attention to the Grand Prix in just a moment's time. It's looking quite overcast out on track there, so we might have some rain in the race, which always spices up things. But we are just waiting for the drivers to get all ready and set for the Mystery Grand Prix here at Miami. Obviously no practice, or at least I'd hope so. It would be very sad of people to practice for a Mystery Grand Prix. Practice every single track. I'm obviously referring to certain people in F1, certain people who drive a Red Bull and aren't from the UK. Villiers. But yeah. I know Villiers is watching as well, so. But 7 watching. We're on the grid for the Mystery Grand Prix. 4 lights, 5 red lights here in Miami. And it is go, go, go. And the RB seems to have had a bad start. The Alpine off the grid very, very well. Andre takes the lead into turn 1. The Mercedes going into the back of him and into the side of the RB of George Parr. Charlie Gordon takes P2. Kais Van Hussein into P3. I believe that is the other Mercedes. Stuart Bradbury having an awful start to the back of the grid. He goes the McLaren of Corey McSweeney in P4. George Parr getting hit into the back of his car in turn 1. Jack Cocaine up the inside of him into the long left-hander as we go down the Isn't Straight and down into the hairpin. Charlie Gordon is going for the lead. Charlie Gordon takes the lead of the Grand Prix. 1 RB. It's the RB that you didn't expect to take the lead here on the opening lap. Into the hairpin we go. And it is the Alpine having a little bit of a fight round the long right-hander and into the chicane. This can only end in tears for the 2 drivers. Charlie Gordon takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Here into the underpass we go. No collisions since that turn 1 kerfuffle. And as we head down the back straight and into the hairpin, I don't believe any collisions going on. Charlie Gordon in the lead of this Grand Prix. Corey McSweeney looking at the back of the Alpine, and the Mercedes I should say, into the hairpin, but nothing doing as of yet. The RB of George Parr looking up the inside of the McLaren of Corey McSweeney. There's fighting behind. I think there's been a collision of sorts into the hairpin. I don't know who's had what type of collision, but we saw a lot of people go down. I think it was Stuart Bradbury once again having collisions to the back of the field. But he's going to go up the inside. We can see battling up ahead with the 2 Saubers. But here comes Stuart Bradbury up the inside of Connor Ahern into turn 1. Connor Ahern retaking that position, but we'll turn our attention to the Saubers, who seem to be having another fight of their own. Jack Cocaine also having a fight with the RB, and the McLaren fighting away with Kais Van Hussein. Kais goes off the track. The McLaren into the podium spot, but here comes the Jack Cocaine up the inside of the RB of George Parr. There's fighting everywhere you look here at the Miami Grand Prix as we go side by side. George Parr and Jack Cocaine fighting away down the second of the 3 long straights here at Miami. Into the hairpin we go. George Parr inching ahead. The McLaren goes a little bit wide with Kais Van Hussein. There's contact with Kais and with Jack Cocaine. Jack trying to go around the outside. Argy-bargy stuff everywhere you look here as we go into the chicane. Everyone side by side is what you love to see here in GRS. Racing action is unmatched here in this league as we go down the back straight and down into the hairpin. Charlie Gordon has already stretched a 1 second advantage out in front of the field. He is loving life here in this Grand Prix, and maybe it's a good thing that we did respin for him, for his sake, because he hates the Spanish Grand Prix. But as we go round the hairpin, and the two Red Bulls fighting away. That is Callum Pearce in front of his teammate, but here comes Mitch Snape round the outside into the final corner. He's going to take the position off the Aston Martin going into turn 1, but here comes the Ferrari of Conor O'Hearn on the Williams car of Larry Ospelto, and Lowry takes that position away from Conor O'Hearn in the Ferrari. It's Ferrari versus Williams once again, and Ross Turner fighting away with that's the Sauber of Thibaut Quo here into the long left-hander. Obviously Thibaut, championship winner last time out in last time we had a season. But here comes Yarrow down the back straight. I can't speak English because of how much racing there is going on down the back straight, and here comes Yarrow on Stuart Bradbury into turn, I believe it's 10. But here comes the Mercedes up the inside, but he's gone way too deep. Way too deep goes the Mercedes. Not for the first time in this Grand Prix. The Mercedes going wide and almost hitting another car. Into the chicane we go. Yeah, Stuart Bradbury is having a torrid time. I don't know if there's something wrong with his brake. Maybe a brake bias a little bit too far forward, but he is not having a good time trying to stop for these hairpins as we go down the back straight. He's trying to go back at the Sauber of Yarrow going into the hairpin, but the other Sauber, Thibaut Quo, fighting away with Mitch Snape going into the hairpin. He's got the inside line. Does he have the position on Mitch Snape? Yes, he does. He takes the position away from Mitch Snape into the final proper corner of this racetrack. But here comes Mitch round the outside going into turn 1. We'll go on board with the Red Bull as we go round the outside into turn 1, and he grabbed that inside line, but he just doesn't have the exit speed on the Sauber. The Sauber getting that position away from the Red Bull. But oh, Callum Pearce has spun just ahead. We saw it on camera as we were following the other two. But yeah, the other Red Bull that was in front spinning away. I don't know what happened there to cause a little half spin for Callum Pearce, but he's back behind the two Aston Martins now, who are having a little bit of a scrap. We'll turn our attention to the Aston Martins. Stuart Bradbury also fighting away with Yarrow. We'll keep an eye on that. So I think this might cause a little bit more carnage than the Aston Martins will. But Stuart Bradbury ahead, and Mitch Snape going up the inside of Thibaut Quo. Here comes the Aston Martin of Ross Turner on Yarrow as we head into the long right hand, and the Mercedes going wide again. There's definitely something wrong with the Mercedes on its brakes as we go into the chicane for the 4th time in this Grand Prix, and heading into the underpass section. The Aston Martins literally inside each other as we head down the back straight and into the hairpin. We've got fighting for P2. Corey McSweeney is ahead of the Aston Martin, or not the Aston Martin, of the Alpine. The Alpine of Adrian going up the inside of Corey McSweeney as we head into the hairpin for the 4th time in this Grand Prix. But it is the McLaren of Corey McSweeney in 2nd place. He's got a nosebleed up here in 2nd place. This is his best position all season, as here comes the Mercedes of Kais Van Hussein up the inside of George Parr. He's made contact with the RB, and here comes Jack round the outside. George is going to lose 2 positions here if he can't get a good exit. He does get a good exit on the Ferrari, but Jack inching ahead as we head into the S's, and is the Ferrari out in front. They're going side by side. The 2 camera angles are absolutely horrid. They're still side by side, heading into the long left-hander. Who's going to get the good exit is the RB getting the better exit on Jack Cocaine. The camera angles there were absolutely horrendous, but the RB out in front of the Ferrari, but Jack Cocaine is not going to take that lying down as we head into the technical section. That is turn 10 and 11, I believe, as we head into this section. The best thing about this section is that there are multiple lines you can take when battling other drivers, and well, the good section is immediately followed by the worst section on the Formula 1 calendar, is that chicane heading on to the back straight in the underpass section. But yeah, the Ferrari and the RB fighting away. The Aston Martin fighting away with, I believe that is the Red Bull of Callum Pearce as we head down the back straight. Mitch Snape fighting away with Thibaut Quo, and Thibaut goes wide into the hairpin. We'll keep an eye on this battle as we go down into the final corner with Mitch Snape and Thibaut Quo. They're fighting away, and it's Thibaut that takes the position. Jack into the pit lane. Don't know what that could be for. It's not for a front wing, it's maybe an undercut for the Ferrari driver. And the battling seems to have quietened down here in Miami. Hammy. It gives us time to turn the telemetry and the lap data on for the time being. All the Aston Martin going very, very wide into the S's, and that might give an invitation to the Ferrari of Conor O'Hearn. It has. He's going to try the inside line into the long left-hander, trying to force the Aston Martin off of its line, as that's a little bit of Sauber front wing. I believe that's a bit of front wing off the Sauber of Thibaut Quo, because he's the one running that livery. As we go into the technical section, is Stuart Bradbury fighting away with Mitch Nape. Round the long right-hander we go. Mitch has got the inside line, but that quickly turns into the outside line, and that's the inferior outside line for the Red Bull, as the Mercedes takes the position away from Mitch Nape into the underpass section. Yeah, the outside line is never going to work there into the chicane, because it's also the outside line for the first part of the chicane, and it is one apiece through that chicane as we head down towards the hairpin. Check on the Sauber of Thibaut Cohen. Yeah, he has got damage. That was Thibaut's front wing on the track there as Mitch comes into the pit lane. I believe the medium runners not having the best time in this Grand Prix at the moment. Turn one with the Williams of Larry Rispelto. And one thing that must be said, Charlie Gordon absolutely running away with it at the moment in this Grand Prix. He's 3.3 seconds out in front, and I think we'll just leave him to it. Don't want to have the commentator's curse happen on Charlie Gordon, because that is not what we want to see. As we head into the technical section with George Parr, and he's going to go side by side with Kais Van Hussein into the hairpin. He goes round the outside, and that quickly becomes the inside line for George Parr, and he barges his way through in the RB. The man who started on pole wants to get back into this Grand Prix, and it's step one of doing so on the Mercedes of Kais Van Hussein as we head down the straight with these cars. Head into the hairpin. So it goes Callum Pearce on the arrow. And the arrow's going to try and get a better exit on the Red Bull, heading down towards the hairpin. Turn one, and he's going to try and go around the outside. Is the arrow into turn one. And as the cars up here, is the Sauber out in front of the Red Bull. That is a very, very good move from Yarrow in the Sauber. It might invite the Aston Martin of Owen Thomas into this battle as we go into the S's. The Red Bull not able to fight back. Technical section once again with this battle, and goes up the inside. Oh, it's a little bit of contact with Yarrow and Callum Pearce in the Red Bull. And not what we want to see. As we go over the chicane, they look like a corner cut from the Red Bull of Callum Pearce as we head down the back straight. By the cars around him. The only drivers not coming in, I believe, are the guys on the hards. Apart from Stephen Trodden, he was the only one to start on the hards. As Mitch Nape sets fastest lap on those hard tyres. The hard is definitely the tyre to be on at the moment. Left-hander with the Sauber and Callum Pierce seemingly had a problem. Through the hairpin, was ghosted there. Only means one thing, and it's contact. As we go into new lap with Callum Pierce, problems for the Red Bull as we head into the opening section. And he seems to be Callum Pierce might be holding up Charlie Gordon in the RB. Obviously, the two Red Bull family cars heading into that section. Oh, a little bit of contact with the front wing from Charlie Gordon, but nothing would cause any damage. And he overtakes Callum Pierce. Callum may be thinking that there's no point fighting him because he's not his race. As we head into the technical section in the Aston Martin, and Yarrow fighting away into that section, but no positions lost for any driver. We head into the chicane. Oh, side by side in the underpass. What's going on here? Andre and Jack Cocaine. And Jack Cocaine taking the lead in that battle. He might just take the position off Stephen Trodden as well. As we head into the hairpin, yeah, he will. And Stephen Trodden dropping like a stone because Andre is going to go up the inside of McLaren and into the final corner as we go. It's Jack Cocaine ahead of Andre, and that's provisional P3. So, very good indeed for Jack Cocaine. Charlie gets past Thibaut in the Sauber and up into P3. That's provision P for Charlie. Yep. Don't have Ross added, so unless his friend requested me, no. Kais Van Hussein gets a 30-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Yeah, we've got to this section of the Grand Prix where nothing's really happened apart from the guys on fresh tyres overtaking the guys on old. Everyone kind of just settling in to the Grand Prix as we go down the straight with Corey McSweeney, and I think he's going to make short work of the Sauber, but the Sauber going up the inside of Corey Yarrow. Very forceful with his overtake attempts, but just getting switched back there by by Corey McSweeney. I do apologise. As we go into the Sauber spinning there and damaging the front wing. Don't know if that will cause any kind of safety car, but as we go down the straight with Corey McSweeney, he takes that position. Obviously, well, if a safety car would have come out, it would have come out by now. So, yeah, no safety car for the moment. Yeah, I haven't seen a safety car in a very long while here at F3. Seems to be a running problem with the F1 here. We've got a bunch of people into the pits. Those who did the overcut. this Grand Prix. Try and get him into the session. There he is. Let's turn up. So hopefully you can join the session. We don't want to see drivers getting disconnected. His AI's not doing too bad down here. If he's down at P15, he's still what? He's only 6 seconds away from the pack. As Seal comes in the pits. Quote. Here we get that front line change as well. He did have damage. And no, he's not got that front line change. So, as it was for the club. Nothing going at the moment for the drivers. When I say that, Clayton was saying he'll be fighting away here with Larry Espelto, and Larry kind of just letting him go. No real point in trying to fight that because he was way ahead going into the technical section of the middle sector and going into the chicane. We'll just see if he's close enough to the Ferrari of Connor Ahern to maybe make a move on the Sky Red machine. With the Mercedes going into the hairpin, he's going to make that move nice and easily on the Mercedes. There seems to be a problem with the Williams. He might have a puncture, or he's dropped a bunch of positions. But Tice up into P8 of this Grand Prix, and went defensive there on the inside there. Don't know why, because he wasn't that close with the Ferrari. He does have their exit, so he needn't be worried. I invited Ross Turner, he's still we'll give him another invite. As we head into the stadium section with Conor Ahern, very close to the back of Typhon Hussein, as Callum Pierce fighting away with Zimmer Quote. The Red Bull versus the Sauber. We head into the stage road to the chicane, I should say. Close enough to the back of the Sauber so we can move into the head and fighting with Thomas and Ferrari of Conor Ahern, and it's Conor that gets that position, but Thibaut wasn't far enough away from the Red Bull to defend that position. But he has got the switchback on the Red Bull driver, and he's got the overspeed to get ahead into turn 1, and that's someone very, very wide into turn 1 there was Ross Turner. He's just driven back, so a bit out of sorts in the Grand Prix. And we'll look to Stuart Farber Mercedes close enough? Yes, he is, and he's going to go for the move on Corey McSweeney. I keep getting that wrong, but as we head into the final corner, it is the Mercedes out in front of the McLaren. You see Mercedes powered cars. And into the lane goes the Red Bull and the Alpine for, I think that's a two-stop now. Tyre wear, I should say, is worse than on wheel. And Ross took a 10-second time penalty, so his woes in this Grand Prix getting even worse for Ross Turner. Here's quite close enough to the back of Mr. Chalax, aka Thomas. As we head into the stadium section, he's going to go down the inside, or at least try on Owen Thomas, but not quite close enough to the back of the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin stays in 6th place. But first real sign of aggression that we've seen from Conor Ahern. This is the man that was working so well with his teammate last time out, now in 7th place. And 11th for Jack Cockayne. They've both had not the greatest time of it in this Grand Prix. A little bit of oversteer there from the Ferrari. And here comes the battle with Thibaut and Callum Pearce once again. As you go into the final corner with these two drivers, who's going to get out in front? Sauber getting out or inching out in front, and then getting out in front. For those drivers, as Andre and the other Sauber of Yarrow fighting away into the same corner. And Andre, who was once in the lead of this Grand Prix, will filter back into P12. I don't know if he's pitted again. Yeah, he has done 2 stops. So he's not there on merit. Still some to pit as Callum Pearce gets back ahead of Thibaut, and here comes the Ferrari of Jack Cockayne on the Sauber into the stadium section. It's the Sauber who stays out in front of the Ferrari. 2 Ferrari powered cars in this Grand Prix. Or one of the 2 Ferraris fighting away. I love that camera angle because you can see the size of the Formula 1 cars compared to the track that they're on through that section. One of the narrowest sections on the Formula 1 calendar, and it quickly winds down to one of the widest as we head into the final corner, as Conor Ahern and Lowry pit from their respective positions. Charlie Gordon. There's a little bit wide there, but nothing too bad. He will come in at some point too. Still quite close to the back of Jack Cockayne. As you go into the little curve on the straight, the Sauber's back ahead of the Ferrari, and they're both within DRS of the Red Bull of Callum Pearce as Jack tries to go around the outside. He's going to pinch the inside line. That's going to always close up on him. Surprised that wasn't contact. Oh, as Jack goes up the inside, what's gone on there? That's an awful move from Jack Cockayne going into the 90 left. That was never going to work from Jack. And he paid the price. He's lost a heap of time. Still got DRS on the Sauber, but that was a terrible move from Jack. Going into the 90 left. And Mitch fighting away with the Sauber of Yarrow. Yarrow's been all in the wars in this Grand Prix. Going into turn 1, and it is the Red Bull ahead of the Sauber. And, going into the S's, this is going to be quite the battle to look out for. If the aggression is the same as it once was, Jack going up the inside again, I think he just kind of forced the Sauber wide. Jack might have lost his head just slightly. Because Jack's usually not one to get into too many collisions, as Jack kind of forces his way through there. That move wasn't terrible, but you know, driving a little bit erratically is Jack Cocaine, and as we go into the chicane, my dog has joined me in the studio, in the commentary booth. So you know, so you've got the commentary of me and my dog at the moment, as we head into the final corner with Charlie Gordon, and he's ahead of Kais Van Hussein into turn 1 there. And my dog has now left the studio, so I'm going to close the door. Absolutely twatted the desk on my knees. As Jack fighting once again with Thibaut Coix, and it's Jack ahead of the Sauber. Also fighting away is the Alpine of Andre on the McLaren Corey McSweeney. This is for some of the leading positions as we go into the stadium section, and it's the Red Bull of Mitch Nick getting ahead, but here comes Andre round the outside. He's never going to get the grip out there, and he goes back up the inside of Mitch going wide. There's battling everywhere you look now, because the guys on new tyres are converging on the guys with old tyres. The Sauber going across the track, they're getting a 10-second time penalty for corner count. That's a bit harsh. As we head into the underpass section, Corey McSweeney is going to have the overspeed on Jack Cocaine because he's got the better tyres, and he'll have a better grip because of that. As we head into the hairpin, Thibaut getting another 10-second penalty for gaining a place or cutting the chicane. And is he going to go into the pits? No, he's not. But this battle still ongoing as we head into the start-finish straight, and down the inside goes Corey McSweeney on the Sauber of Thibaut Coix, and he's into P6 of this Grand Prix. He's dispatched the Sauber in good time, has the McLaren of Corey McSweeney. Andre and Mitch, I cannot say the same for, as we head into the S's section, as Jack getting very, very close to the back of Thibaut. Once again, he's going to look up the inside, forces Thibaut wide once again. Does Jack Cocaine. Thibaut's going to be absolutely fuming at how he's been treated in this Grand Prix by the game and by the drivers around him, and he's going to try and go around the outside of Jack into the hairpin, and he is going to do just that. There's no why he's doing so, and Andre fighting over Mitch there. Jack telegraphed this move a few laps ago. Will he do the same? Because he went up the inside, and he's looking up the inside again, kind of forces the Sauber wide. This isn't good driving from Jack, and I'm usually not one to accuse Jack of things like this, but this is a Jack we've never seen in this league before. Jack Cocaine, I don't know if he's lost his head or whatever, but he goes up the inside of the Sauber, forces him wide. Once again, there's more contact. The Alpine in the background having problems. So Andre has had a problem in the hairpin as we look at this battle for P7. They're getting They're getting the handbags out for P7. As down the inside goes Jack. The Sauber goes wide once again. It didn't look like there was too much contact. Oh, as they both make contact. Synchronised drifting there from the Ferrari and the Sauber. As we head through and into the S's. I don't know whose fault that was. As we head into the long left-hander. As one of the Aston Martins has DNF'd, and that is a virtual safety car out on track. Not a full safety car, just a virtual. Yeah, that car coming out of the pit lane is the McLaren of Stephen Tron, so they've all got to slow down. And adhere to the delta. This would be a very, very good time for some people to come in the pit. It's currently an RB12 at the moment, so yeah, very, very good for them. Don't know how long the safety car will be in for. They're going full throttle, so it might be in. The VSC might be in a minute. The car's going to come in the pit. Oh no, he's not. But the Mercedes of Kaiser Hussein is. I don't know when this VSC is going to come in. It's all caused by Thomas' DNF. And yeah, Mr. Schlack's leaving the session. And Mercedes getting that penalty removed. As the VSC comes in, no one getting drive-throughs. That is what you want to see. Charlie, I think, leaving a little bit of leeway with the Delta because he lost a second and a half to his teammate on that VSC. Two Saubers very close to each other. Stadium section with the two Saubers, a little bit of a wall hit there from Tilo White. As Mitch gets penalty for track limits. Colin McSweeney fighting away with Callum Pearce as Callum tries to get the switch back on the McLaren, but McLaren's going to have the better straight line speed and the better grip out of the corner, but DRS will be afforded to the Red Bull as we go into turn 1, but Callum Pearce not being able to get the move done. DRS, I think they've had problems out into the hairpin, and you know what's happened to him. He's got no front wing, so I think he's either been forced there or he's hit the wall by himself. So yeah, not good for Yarrow. Yarrow retires out on the track, and we've got another VSC. So we've instantly doubled the amount of VSCs we've had in the last 3 Grand Prix. And this will not be what Charlie Gordon wants, because it's another opportunity to get a penalty out on track. these in, didn't even realise. And Charlie miles in front of his teammate. Ooh, very close to Mercedes, Stuart Bradbury and Jack Cocaine. Oh, Stuart's going a bit slowly there. I don't know what's happened to him. Please excuse my silence. Trying to commentate with eyes that are currently very sensitive to light is not fun, as it turns out. Ross Turner leads the second once again, and not having fun with his internet as Stuart Bradbury, I believe, fighting away with Jack Cocaine into the final hairpin. And as Stuart goes wide once again, it's another lockup that we've seen from Stuart Bradbury. Don't know what is going on with that Mercedes, whether it be a brake problem, like a hardware problem, or maybe he's tried no line for the first time. Maybe he's got a front brake bias too far to the front, or maybe he's trying ABS off for the first time. It's really good. There's been a few times where he's just gone straight on as Andre fighting away with the Ferrari of Conor Ahern, literally inside the Ferrari. This surely breaks some rules. As we go into the S's section, as Andre gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. As Lowry's very close to the back of Kais van Hussein in the Mercedes, and Andre very close to the back of the Ferrari of Conor Ahern. He's going to have the inside line on the Ferrari. He went for the late dive bomb. But here comes Conor into the stadium section. There's a little bit of contact. The Alpine gets squirrely heading into the chicane. Oh, that's a wall hit. And the Alpine goes straight over the chicane. And I don't know what the penalty is going to be given as we head down the straight. And I would assume that we are legal over to... Oh, this is getting saucy, but not in the right ways. And I think there's gonna be a collision here. Up the inside goes Andre. Yep. As he didn't even... He backed out of the move. And heading into turn 1 with the Ferrari in the Alpine. At the moment, apart from that battle. As Stephen Trolling comes in, I assume to go across to move on the battle slap. And currently RB12 as Andre retires from the session out on track. Not what you want to see. As Callum Pearce overtakes George Parr, who was in second place a moment ago, so he might have had an issue. Yeah, he has. He's hit the wall, and he's got front wing damage for his troubles. As we head down into the hairpin, we might have that fixed, but it's also one more lap to go in this Grand Prix, so don't know if he'll bother, because he's 4.5 seconds out in front of the Mercedes. Jack again quite close to the back of said Mercedes of Stuart Bradbury. close enough to make a move on the outside. No, he isn't quite, but yeah, we'll turn our attention to Larry. Doesn't make a move on Tibbo. I was looking at Charlie, but we'll turn our attention to this battle for P2, because while it is only originally because the McLaren has a penalty, it is something to look at. But actually, no, we'll turn our attention to Charlie Gordon, because he has been miles above the rest in this Grand Prix, and he's going to come across the line to win the Mystery Grand Prix. Charlie Gordon wins here in Miami, and it's his first race back, and it's his he's returned with a win, as Charlie Gordon, Callum Pearce not being able to get Corey McSweeney in this Grand Prix, but he will get him on the fact that he has no penalties. And George Parr just behind the Mercedes of Stuart Bradbury. Jack takes fourth, which about 20 minutes ago didn't seem like a possibility, as we go across the line with the rest of the pack. And Ross Turner's being a bit far behind means that I can read out your finishing order. Charlie Gordon, from Callum Pearce, from Corey McSweeney, from Jack Cocaine, from Mitch Nate, from Stuart Bradbury, from George Parr, from Larry Espelto, Kais Van Hussein in P9 in the Mercedes, Connor Ahern in the Ferrari in P11, no P10 even, Tibbo Quote in P11, Ross Town crosses the line to take P12, and Stephen Trodden is your final finisher. He is in P13. So yeah, what started out as a very entertaining Grand Prix kind of fizzled out in the middle, and got a little bit more entertaining at the end. But Charlie Gordon will take the win on his return to GRS, and that is what he will want to see. Is what I would say what his team people want to see, but that is not how we do things anymore. And this Mystery Grand Prix did deliver. Driver of the day going to Callum Pearce, and yeah, from P11 on the grid, I would say, yeah, I'd give him that. And I think I'll give the driver of the day votes to Callum Pearce, Corey McSweeney, Jack Cocaine, and Mitch, I would say. I'll give it to the top, or the second down to fifth, and I'll just check race director for you, so you can get that. Yep, so that is race director for you. And we'll get interviews in just a moment. There we are.
Well.
He's here. You are live, by the way.
I guess.
Who's the other podium finisher? It was Corey, wasn't it?
Callum Pierce, definitely.
Yeah. Double check the stream quickly. Yep, Corey. So just get him.
Yeah, thanks for pinging me.
Yeah, no worries, mate. To be fair, I had the message up before you joined.
Ah.
You're welcome for the respin, by the way.
Yeah, no, that saved me quite heavily. We've come up with the reasoning that I won is because the fear from getting Spain turned into adrenaline.
Right. And the fact that the Mercedes bummed your teammate.
Yeah, I mean that helped, but which Mercedes was it?
It was Stuart Bradbury.
Ah.
I think it's only.
I think I was quicker than George anyway.
I think it's only going to be
Yes.
because we've had no. Yeah, Callum's getting scran, so it's just going to be you. We'll start the interviews.
Sound.
So you've been away, obviously doing jobs, you know. Yeah, on your return to GRS to F3, you get the win by 12 seconds in the end on track, and I think it's with penalties about 20. So yeah, you've come back in quite some style. But yeah. Obviously, Mystery Grand Prix seem to be your specialty because you don't have to practice for them. So yeah, how are you feeling?
Yeah, no, that is the dream. Yeah, love a mystery. Yeah, no, pretty happy with that, to be fair. Seeing as I've got 8 points in F3 up to this point, I'd take another 25.
So yeah, obviously your teammate started on pole and then got furiously backshotted by the Mercedes.
Yeah.
And you just took advantage, and then you overtook Andre, who fell like a stone in that Grand Prix. And yeah.
Yeah.
Smooth sailing from then. Obviously, I had to overtake some back markers when you pitted for the first time. I think it was.
Yeah, I mean that was the only bit of enjoyment I had in that race, to be honest. The rest of it was just boring.
The rest of it's driving Miami, and we all know that that's not enjoyable.
Yeah. So, it helped, I think, that it rained in quali because it meant that the quali order was not accurate of the actual pace, particular.
Yeah. I mean, I was wondering why everyone was retiring because I hadn't clocked that the rain was happening until about 2 minutes after it started raining. Because I was looking at the chat thinking, oh, we've got a restart. No. Mitch has pinged Callum to do an interview, so we'll just wait for a minute to see if we'll have him. But yeah, no, that was. I mean, it was difficult to commentate considering I've got another eye infection because Harv's pink eye has joined us again.
Unlucky.
I think we'll
I mean, I'll let you wait, but I'm going to disappear.
Yeah, I think I'm going to call the interviews there anyway. So yeah, going into the next Grand Prix, I believe the next Grand Prix is if I could check the calendar, where's the calendar on Discord? Next Grand Prix is Great Britain. So yeah. We'll be commentating that. Hopefully, I won't have an eye infection that week or next week. And yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Very enjoyable Grand Prix to watch once again. As I said, thank you for tuning in, and we shall see you next week for another thrilling round of GRS. Goodbye.